You need to understand the following, because if you understand this, things will make more sense to you and you will see things for what they are. A lot of folks, I'm saying like worldly people in general, they are obsessed. I say obsessed with self-validation. Now, the obsession of self-validation is how the fall of mind operates. So children kind of grow into it by themselves. Even though it's regulated by the parents and through socialization, self-validation is the center of how the fallen mind operates. And of course, this obsession works out in various forms, but when you go to the root of it, it's still self-validation. Have you thought about people that are difficult people that when something happens, they're looking for trouble or you need to look out for them? What's it with difficult people? Okay, let's say you say hi to them instead of hello. They may become difficult. Say, why say hi? I don't know you. Why are they so difficult? Let me explain why. They want validation. They want you to speak to them in certain way. And when you don't, they want something bad to haunt you so they can feel good about themselves. Why? When they don't feel validated, they feel pain and they want this pain to haunt you so that they can feel good. That's an issue with difficult people. Don't call them difficult people. Those are self-obsessed people that are desperate for validation at all costs. That's what they are. And to look at it more deeply, they are cowards. You know why they're cowards? Because the people that hurt them with words in the past, obviously their parents or the other people that treat them dirty, they aren't doing difficult against them. They are doing difficult to people that are dependent upon them, whether it's their own children or their employees. They're the ones who are difficult towards. They're not difficult towards the ones that are stupid towards them. No, because they know they won't win over there. What's all about with difficult people? Self-validation. And the fact that they choose to be difficult when things don't go how they expect, or when you do something that they can't understand, they're going to haunt you with it, that means that they are capable of killing you. Nah, some people say, Rashid, you're going too far with this. If someone is willingly too long for you to be haunted, just because so you said something or did something that they are not willing to process, now that individual is dangerous already. And such a difficult individual can only be difficult because people allow that individual to be. So if you have a boss at work and he's a bit difficult, people permit the boss to be difficult. Because if all the employees would take Okodonomin, we don't take this, the boss would have no other option but to stop. But it's a collective enabling the guy. Okay, let's look at a drug dealer on the street who's threatening people. And he even comes into the house of people demanding payment. He's a thug. And he's a guy, man, people know he's a tough one. People right on cross the guy. Hold on a minute. That guy needs to go to sleep every night for his body to recover. He needs to eat food, he needs to drink water, he needs to pee, he needs to poo like everyone else. He's breathing the same oxygen we all are breathing. So how come that this guy has this difficulty and people just think, oh, you better not cross that guy? People enable the guy to be difficult and to be a thug. Because if people in a neighborhood would just make plain, we don't take this crap, that guy, how difficult he may be, how tough he may be, he will be forced to stop. And here's the thing with difficult people. They are craving self-validation. They are enabled by the denial of environment they are enabled and empowered by the denial of the environment. That's why they can go so far. I mean, if you begin to talk about Chinese food and people don't want to hear it, they know how to shut you down. They know how to become violent and to find excuses for it when they don't want something. But there are some individuals in the neighborhood who are a bit difficult and people just back off when they're around. Come on now. If that other individual is using a paranormal charm, all charms are normal. Okay, so if he's using a charm, she's using a charm, the charm can only be operative because there are people around to enable the charm. The charm needs the denial of the people to feed upon. So even though the individual may use a charm, the people are accountable for enabling that guy or that woman, whoever it is, to be difficult. Why do we enable such people? Often we are not aware we are enabling them. We often just want to be left alone. We don't want to be caught up in violence. And that's understandable, especially if you're a child or a young teenager. You don't want to become the target of violence. So that's why we ignore stuff, we deny stuff. Okay, that's understandable. But when adults, grown people, permit someone to so-called be difficult, that's a whole nother matter. If there is a narcissist woman who is neglecting her children, the community can tell her, hey, listen to this woman. What the heck are you doing with those kids? We don't want this in our community. You hear that? If they deal with her continuously, she'll know she has to stop. And she'll behave just to be left alone. But a lot of times people say, oh, it's their private life. I don't want to get involved. We enable the narcissist. And that's why often people cannot confront the narcissist, because the narcissist has something on them. The narcissist can always backfire it onto them, because the narcissist can make blame. You guys have enabled me. For example, there is this kid in town who just has been murdered, and then they catch the killer. The killer was a bloke that lived in the street. And the guy in court said to the judge, Your Honor, everyone was hating the guy. Everyone was treating him badly. Everyone was okay with people treating him badly. So I thought nobody's going to miss the guy. But now that I've done what most people wanted to do but had no guts to do, now they are pretending as if they know of nothing. And you know what the judge will tell the guy? Son, you are stupid for thinking that you will get validation by doing the dirty job of people who are cowards of admitting their own negativity. Because those people that are already negative, they are cowards. That kid that you killed posed no threat to those people. Yet they all hated him. But those bankers and those corrupt politicians in that town that haunted the people, that invaded their lives, they didn't hate them. They didn't went after them, but they all went after that bloke that you killed. And you thought, I may get appreciation from those people if I destroy the object of their hatred. You are very dumb. And you know what? That's how a lot of people are. It's all about self-validation. People will permit others to even murder you, just so that they can get the validation that they're not minding other people's business, that they know their place. Sounds stupid, but that's the world you live in. Look, when you look at crime in general, I'm talking about homicide, rape, assault, physical assault, and all of that. I've already said it before and I'm repeating it. Most crimes are rituals, okay? But those are not rituals. Well, I'm talking about incidents. They are done by people that are desperate for self-validation. Picture this. You have this kid who is being beaten by his parents. And the community allows it. So that guy has hatred towards the community. But he depends on the community. He doesn't want to keep reminding people what they've allowed to happen to him, because he knows people will blame him or become ugly. But he carried this anger inside of him. So one day he sees this guy of 22 years old who has a brand new car in front of his house. And he becomes upset because that guy is enjoying that new car. So all that rage he had towards the community is now unleashing by stealing that car and by destroying the car. Why? Because he wants to transfer that bad energy, that bad karma onto the guy that has the car. Or he may decide to one day see the guy and attack the guy, to have some reason to hate the guy, not like the guy. And when he's caught and they put him in jail, he will blame society also. Now here's the catch. So society was to blame for what society allowed his parents to do to him. That's true. But he himself gave himself over to the dark side by operating in the negative. So now what people did was they locked him up because he became dangerous to be around. And people did the right thing. But now he doesn't want to acknowledge that he himself was also choosing the dark side. So now he has to blame that on society also. Now, the previous thing was the fault of society. That's correct. But the second one isn't. But that that narcissist has no interest in what's true and what's not. He just wants to be validated. He just doesn't want to admit that his parents are effed up and that his parents don't earn his honor. And you have people out there, when they sense as if they're losing the validation of some people, man, they'll become hysterical and they'll lash out against someone. It can be that you're new in town and you begin to date this beautiful girl. It can be that there is this um, guy over there who was never interested in that girl, but just because you're a new guy, you're in town, and you get benefits that quickly, in this case, you're dating a girl locally, he will become upset because he sees you're popular, that people are, that you are, I would say, you socialize easily with people. And he has some people he hangs out with, but now he feels threatened by your success. So now he will try to eliminate you, either through gossip or through lying, or when he's really desperate, by homicide. The people that bullied him, the people that mistreated him, he's not going after them. He's going after the one that threatens his self-validation. And don't think that amongst women this ain't happening. It happens amongst women. There are many women in jail that committed horrible crimes against other women, though to self-validation. And often the community allowed it to come so far because the community wanted to hold on to their pride, that they are minding their own business, that they are respectful, that they've been raised well, and all of that crap. I want you to understand that. It's about self-validation. That's why the Most High wants you to agree with Christ. He wants you to agree with the Messiah. He wants you delivered from the fallen mind. Being born again happens once. Your name's written in the book of life. You're saved. You can't undo that. Satan can't undo that. Deliverance is something else. You need to be delivered. Why? Because your mind needs to be renewed. Because to operate in self-validation is to operate in darkness. It means to empower evil spirits, and it means to enable negativity. Now, when you operate in the light, in a renewed mind, people are going to act out against you, especially against you. Why? Because you're not operating in the light, and you're operating in the supernatural now. So you have a great advantage over there that they have no access to. They have no access to because they don't want to give up self-validation. So that frustration that they can't access, the advantage, great advantage you have, they're going to act it out towards you. Or they're going to look for someone weaker to release it upon. That's the world you live in. That's why you bless those that curse you and pray for those that persecute you, not to empower them. Because why would you empower someone that has chosen the violent way and to persist in it? You don't. You walk in love towards everyone, but you cannot walk in love with everyone because people that hold on to darkness, you can't walk in love with them because they're holding on to darkness. And you know what? You're not going to hunt your enemies to be to get rid of them. No. You pray on their behalf that they will be delivered from the darkness they're in. And if it happens that they persist in the negativity, hey, that's not unto you. That's not unto you. But you will pray that they are hindered in their wickedness. Because if they can't reach you, because you are divinely protected, because you're as supernatural protection, they still carry that waste with them, and someone is going to be victimized by that waste. So you're not going to spend much time on your enemies, but you are going to pray for justice. They are going to decree justice in the name of the Messiah to hinder their wickedness. There are times the Most High permits you to be haunted by people so that you, in walking by faith, will restrain them. It happened in the Old Testament, it also happened in the New. Just understand that in this world it's all about self-validation. And self-validation is the thing you as a believer need to be delivered from. Too often we are distracted by circumstances and we want circumstances to be dealt with. Look, the Heavenly Father wants you to be delivered. He wants you to live from the inside out instead of attaching yourself to external goods. Live from the inside out. Not through circumstances, not through other people, and not through goods. Because that's how the world operates. Live from the inside out. Walk by faith, operate in the supernatural. That being said, be at peace.